Good morning, I'm Wendy Bond, Director of Education for Lakmé USA. I'm here with Gina, our Regional Manager, and we're going to go ahead and talk about summer-inspired hair and my favorite go-to blondie foil placement. And what I love about this placement is Kayla, my model, has beautiful dark blonde hair naturally. She has a huge amount of density, and this placement I'm going to show you is going to specifically work for her hairline, because she wears her hair tied back all the time. I had done her hair about 12 weeks ago, and you can see that it's grown out really beautifully. So I'm going to show you how to touch up this placement, or how this placement was done. I'm also going to show you how, when you have this crazy thick hair, you can highlight in a way that really breaks the hair up. She was a corrective color a few months back. She more had the solid blonde. We highlighted and low lighted her. To save some time, I pre-foiled the back of her hair. And all I'm going to do is start on a diagonal, and I'm going to show you how we kind of go in and place these foils. In the second part, as soon as I get going with my foiling, we're going to go ahead, and Gina's going to talk about some of our favorite beach summertime inspired toners, right, Gina?
Right.
Yeah, so it's really great. So all you want to do is, I'm going to be doing what we call a shifted chevron in Lakmé. So when you think about it, when you cut hair, thanks Gina, you start, if you were cutting a long layered cut or an angle cut, you would never go completely like this usually, or completely like this. You kind of work on the round of the head, and that's how I'm going to work up the sides of the hair. On a slight diagonal, moving into a little bit, not quite horizontal, working across the head. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 sections, turn my model, do 1, 2, 3 sections. When I get to the wider part of the head, just around the recession, I'm going to put one foil in, followed by a second foil. This allows me to move through the hair really quickly. So I'm just going to show you, and what I love about this is it's very easy to retouch. So you can actually see where I did her hair last time. Just tilt your head away from me. So I wanted to really do like those big, bright pieces that everybody that's young can really rock and wear. So you can see I've got like a chunk in my hand. I don't have a little skinny piece. I don't have your traditional foil like ribbon. I'm really getting close to the hairline. And what I'm going to do is, when I get my lightener on my brush, I'm just going to angle it. So I'm painting a big ribbon in that first section, and then the skinny one I'm doing all the way up. So what's interesting about this I really like is you're putting a thick ribbon next to a skinny ribbon. Where her hair's in better condition, I'll drag it down a little more. Here I'm just going to leave it out because it's fragile. And I did that kind of an angle, and I did this little skinny one. Depending on what you want to do, you can fold your foils up. Sometimes on really long hair, I just like to lay a piece on top. One thing I love about our Lakmé K-Blonde powder is if you mix it to the manufacturer's instructions, it doesn't swell, it doesn't creep, it doesn't move. So it's a very, very stable lightener. So I really love the fact that you can go right up to the edge of your foil, but if you notice, and again, I'm just kind of putting these in sort of loosely, if you notice, I went up right to the edge of the foil, but I didn't have a lot of product on my brush. You're also going to see, so look, I'm just going to put your head away. I'm kind of sticking with that angle. And when you're able to combine like a thick ribbon with a skinny ribbon next to it, it almost makes it look like you worked harder than you actually did. And with our K-Blonde powder, because it doesn't creep, doesn't move, doesn't do any of these things, you can really go right up to the edge of your foil. Now in this case, I'm going to decide if I'm going to do another ribbon. I might just do a slice to break this up, because I'm kind of feeling like I need to right here, regardless of what I did last time. If you notice, I'm keeping my fingers very close to the head. For you younger stylists who maybe are somewhat newer to highlighting, if I lift up like this and then pull down, I'm going to really lock that piece in place. Around the hairline, a lot of times I will do slicing. In the back, I've almost exclusively done those kind of like skip ribbons. I put a lot of product in the middle. I'm just going to feather it down through the ends. So where she has some previous color, I'm not going to oversaturate it, especially maybe where I don't need to. Now I've got almost a dry brush, and just using the corner of my brush, I can just walk that color, feather it right to the edge of the foil. It's going to look very pretty, very natural. That's also going to be the reason why I'm probably going to use a second foil just on top and just fold it. And I'm funny, you know, my best friend Robin is a super, super neat colorist. I'm a little bit more of the messy colorist. I also, for me, I only fold my foils kind of as much as I need to keep them in place, because when I get to the sink, I just want to pull them out. I just want them to go very quickly. I'm going to do one more section. So I've done 1, 2. This is my third foil. Kayla's got a small head, which is actually really nice. You know, right, Gina? Sometimes you get the girls with all the lots of hair and a big head. So I'm just going to, take one more kind of medium section here. I'm making her deliberately a little more dense in the front of her hair and a little more spaced out in the back. And even though she's got a relatively small section, I could maybe do this in one foil. I'm going to go ahead and take a slice from my first foil, because that slice is going to look really, really bright, but really natural when she goes to pull it back. Everybody's always talking about those money pieces, and like, yes, you can get them with balayage or whatever, but especially on these flat hairlines with fine, fine hair, a lot of times the best way to do it is just to do kind of a medium slice. And like I said, when you're feathering, I'm going to go all the way up for this whole section, but I could stop like this, or maybe I won't quite do the whole thing, and I can do like a heavier saturation into like a softer saturation, and then I'll use just a little bit more product. I have 20 volume developer. I don't have anything really strong. One of the things about K-Blond that's so amazing is that even with 20 volume, it'll give you 8 full levels of lift. So it's a really great product to use, especially because Kayla's not that dark. I did add a little bit of Iplex. Now right here, I'm going to show you, I'm going to squeeze in one more little single foil. And you might be like, well, why are you doing that now? Why don't you just wait? I'm doing it because I kind of want to get through this whole front of her head in one go. So as soon as I do this section, I'm going to turn it over to Gina, and I'm going to mirror what I did on the other side. So I'm going to do one more little piece here. Now if you look, I picked up a pretty big chunk of hair. But in order to do that and make this work, I'm actually going to take 2 of my kind of skip ribbons. So I've got fairly flat bottoms and 2 sort of medium kind of ribbon pieces. And because these are skinny, I can go ahead and paint the whole entire section. Like I said, if you keep your fingers, for newer stylists, if you keep your fingers closer to the top of the head in those first 4 inches, regardless of how long the hair is, you'll have better control. So even though I'm going to paint all the way up, I just feel like by turning my brush at an angle, I get a softer application. So I'm going to turn, Kayla, I'm going to start with the same thing. I'm going to do my first, second, third, fourth row of foils, and then I'll turn her back and switch to the other side. So now Gina gets to show you a new special that we have going.
All right, so we have this really fun special for you guys now that it's the summertime. We have cool, neutral formulas that are pretty much given to you. We're going to do the swatches today. That's what we have set up over here. And then we're going to show you the warm and sunny formulas that we came up with. Everything is great because we have a package this quarter that we're doing for these trending summertime tones. They're all going to be really inspired for the warm and sunny and the cool and neutral. You have all the glosses, one of each here, that we're going to be using to do the toners today. And then also a 9 volume and 6 volume. Pretty much the package looks like what we have over here, this nice setup.
And what was the inspiration behind this, Gina? The more you and I talked about summertime, and especially because of New Jersey, I mean, I've lived here forever, but I really didn't realize how many beaches there are in New Jersey, and everybody talks about the shore and the beach all the time.
Yeah, so we're filming in New Jersey, so we had to make our promo a little beach inspired. So it's cool because we have like White Beach, Champagne Beach, Moonlight Beach, and California Beach, and Volcano Beach. That's what we're going to start off with. The first 5 here are going to be our cool beach-inspired summertime tones. And then we're going to move over to the Sundown, Vanilla, Sunny, and Pink Sand Beach, which is going to be our warm and sunny, warmer-inspired beach tones. So it's cool because I'm going to show you guys on 2 different level swatches. We have a lighter swatch here and a darker swatch here. We're going to saturate all of them and let them process for 10 minutes. So our first formula here is called White Beach. This is with 10-20 and clear equal parts. And all of these swatches are going to be done with our purple bottle today, our 6 volume. So what's great about the gloss is the active ingredient in our gloss is jojoba oil. So every time you're doing someone's hair, the shine is incredible. But jojoba oil also gives you a lot of moisture, which is great for the summertime. All right, we're gonna let that sit for 10 minutes.
And one of the things I love about Lakmé Gloss for toning is it has really even color uptake and really good durability on all types of hair. Don't you find, Gina, like regardless of porosity or density, it just takes really evenly, gives a tremendous amount of shine and condition?
Absolutely, and it lasts about 6 to 10 weeks. I like to tell my clients every like 24 shampoos, so you'll definitely get the longevity out of it. This one we're doing here is called Champagne Beach. We're using 1022, 1020, and clear, again with the 6 volume.
And one of the things I love about all the Lakmé hair color lines is that we have a clear in every single category. Don't you think hairdressers love clear? Like, I couldn't live without it.
Yeah, most of these formulas, I want to say about half of them have clear in it. So it's nice because we're making a lot of super customizable, easy formulas to use for the summertime. So all of Lakmé is cruelty-free, PBD-free, and vegan color. So on top of it being really healthy for the hair and super conditioning, you have the longevity there and all the benefits from using the color line. Right here we just did Moonlight Beach. That's your K-Bond Silver Toner and Clear. We're moving on to California Beach, which is going to be 960 and 1020 equal parts.
And 960 is an interesting color. It took me a while to start using it. It's actually a brown natural at level 9, and it's really pretty because it gives you like a slightly warmer neutral. Don't you think, Gina?
Yeah, it is really pretty. It's nice to work with because I feel like it's one of those colors that you can add into a lot of formulas.
You really can.
Just to like soften and make it more natural.
And that 1020 is probably one of my favorite gloss tones. I mean, again, I'm like Gina. I use a lot of clear when I'm mixing toner formulas, but clear just gives you a little bit more time. It lets you really customize your toner.
All right, now we're moving on to the Volcanic Beach, and this is going to be the gloss 1017, silver and clear. Just gonna get these in. So it's really cool because you can pretty much see that the color is taking from the swatches almost instantly, and by the end of this video, we're gonna have all of these swatches rinsed for you to see the after. They're all gonna be processing for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think your average timing is when you tone hair, Gina?
I try to leave it on for 10 minutes because I like to add iPlex step 1 into my glosses. So I always try to get the benefits from iPlex because I'd rather do that treatment at the sink.
Oh, that's
so
a great idea.
Definitely 10 to 15 minutes are my typical glosses. Here is Sundown Beach. This is equal parts of our 840 and our 960. And I'm leaving like half the swatch uncovered so you guys could still see what the before looked like when we rinse them. Our next one is Vanilla Beach.
So you're now into the warmer tones, right?
Yes, now we're moving forward to these 4 over here. We have our warm and sunny. So for your warmer clients this summer, here's some Vanilla Beach with some clear, and again, we're using that 960. So it's nice because all these formulas are really fun for the summertime. And it's nice working with the gloss because everything is super customizable. And the more you're working with the gloss line, I really feel like you'd learn to love it because you see the shine and how healthy and really the condition of your client's hair when they come back and the shine is still in there. Next is Sunny Beach. We have 1040 and 933 with some clear. Okay, and then our last one, this one's fun, Pink Sand Beach. This is with our Pearl Toner, 750 and clear. 750 is another one of like my favorites because in the swatch it's a level 7 red natural, but a little nice touch of it can create a soft pink. So it's fun to play with, the 750. All right. So now that we have these all on, I'm gonna set a timer for 10 minutes and let these all process.
And then for our existing Lakmé accounts, if you guys are interested in receiving this toner sheet, Gina can tell you about that. And then if you're a new client, we can show you the actual swatch book and kind of walk you through these as well as what's available.
So we pretty much chose the most popular shades that our current Lakmé salons are working with. Like you have in this package here, the 960 is really popular, 1017, 1020, 1022. We have 2 clears in here. If I was gonna choose one thing out of this entire Lakmé line that I'm obsessed with, it's definitely these 2 K Blonde toners right here, the pearl and the silver. What's great about the K Blonde pearl toners is there's no level to them. We have a tube of silver and a tube of pearl. So within this package, you would get 1 of each. I love that there's no level to it because, you know, if you're using the silver toner, it's essentially blue. It's going to take out unwanted orange tones. And then if you're using the pearl toner, it's violet. It'll take out unwanted yellow tones. So it's fun to play with, especially for the summertime because we're working with the blondes. And then you can add those K Blonde toners to customize your gloss formula. So it's nice that everything is able to be mixed together. These formulas are recommended for higher levels of hair. We're talking blondes, beach time, summertime hair. It's cool because we're giving you these formulas here to keep on top of the current hair trends.
And Gina, can you show them what some of the rings look like for the people, the loops that aren't familiar from the swatch book?
Absolutely. So let's start with this white beach over here. We're going to start in the cool neutral section. So our white beach is equal parts of the 1020 and clear. To achieve the white beach. Next we have our champagne beach. I love the names of these. Which is again 1020 and clear, but now we're adding 1022 into there to create a nice champagne tone. I do not have a swatch for silver, but silver is silver at no level. We'll have the K Blonde silver and clear to create a nice moonlight beach. Our next one is California Beach. Here's the 960 that we mentioned before. And 1020. Volcanic Beach is pretty cool because I feel like this is definitely trending right now. A lot of clients are asking for that pretty cool result. So what we're using here is our 1017, which is our ash blue, mixed with a silver. So you're really smoking it out and giving it that cool look. All right, moving on to our warm and sunny. We have Sundown Beach. And now we're getting into our copper. Our 840 is our copper natural mixed with our 960, which is our chestnut natural. Vanilla Beach is clear and our chestnut natural, 960. So it's nice for our existing Lakmé accounts because if you're using our glosses already, now you have these fun summer formulas to access. 1040, again, that's from our copper. 1040 is definitely one of my favorites. It's just so pretty.
So a lot of people really seem to like the 1020, especially in Florida. And Amy from Nebraska says they're 1020 fans over there too.
Oh yeah, 1020 is definitely a fave. And then we have the fun pink sand beach.
And then Lexi, I'm just going to grab you over here because I'm kind of at a good transition point for a second.
Okay.
I think Gina's at that good point too. So tilt your head forward, okay, a little bit. So you can see I've kind of worked my way up the head. I've got kind of this soft V appearing in the hair. And now I'm gonna continue with like longer sections coming across the head, and I'm gonna offset them. So instead of going corner to corner, when in the past you might have got those unwanted triangles, you just offset them slightly. If I wanted a lighter density, like just this very scattered hue highlights, I would offset them very far. So like if this was my foil, I would go like right in the center. Because on Kayla we want a fairly heavy blonde, I'm gonna go just offset slightly. So I can even show you a little bit, like, again, part of the reason this grows out so well is, and wherever the client parts their hair, like I will always ask them about where they part their hair, but I'm generally using a center part, and I'm generally working with like their nose as my center kind of guideline. So when I'm working through the head, especially when you're new to this placement, I'll keep looking that like this is kind of my guideline, and I'll keep pivoting across the head. And when you're new to this placement, what makes it very easy is if you do maybe the very first few times, like 1 or 2 rows, and then turn and do 1 or 2 rows. And that way you really keep your shift in order. Even for someone like me, and this is like my go-to placement, I really don't do more than probably 3 or 4 rows before I turn her. So you can see where I had some previous really like ribbony pieces. So I can add to these, I can keep them the same, but I'm just gonna pick that hair up. I'm probably gonna add a little bit to these this time. When I first met Kayla, she had pretty blonde hair, but it was just very, very solid, and she kind of had like an old ombre and no color at the top. I did do a base shift on her. That's where you can see that little bit of, just a little bit of shift at her root, and we're probably gonna do that at the sink at the very end today. But that's a class one for another day. So again, my hand's slipping. I'm gonna readjust my hand position, bring my hand further up the hair so I have that control I need. Keeping that hair really tight, pressing your hand against the model's head, and just lightly using the corner of my brush, walking it up, and then wherever I decide to add more, I can go ahead and add. And then depending on what I need, you know, because I've got this big gap, that gap is actually what kind of creates the movement and the dimension. Where she has more fragile hair, I can just kind of push it to the side if I want to. Where I need to, I can flip this up and kind of paint these ends again. So it's a great placement. It's actually fairly easy to retouch when you need to, which I really like. And clients love it because no matter where they part their hair, they have a really nice, bright sort of top and front right around the hairline. You can fold it as many times as you like. You know, that's just sort of a personal thing. These foils are pretty long, so I'll probably give it another fold. And then, like I said, for me, I've kind of explained that, like, sometimes, I mean, it depends how much the client's going to be moving around, but I do tend to not fold a lot because I just want to be able to like take them out easily at the sink, especially because she has so much hair. So I am going to kind of come across the crown a little bit now. So in the crown, you have a couple choices. Her hair is very fine and does stick to the head, sort of. It has that very flat, silky hair. So I'm actually going to do one kind of slice just to break it up in the crown. I can do some ribbons. I'm going to turn her and do the other side. So you can also realize that like what I might do as an option, I'm going to let her foils process completely. And for any of you guys that have ever taken my 3-dimensional blonde class, which is kind of introduced this year, it's something where we talk about toning between the foils or outside the foils. So Kayla's a perfect example of when you might do this. So take your typical blonde highlight client. Maybe she's a slight correction like what I had with Kayla, where she was coming to me with an old ombre. I put in highlights and lowlights. You can see she's got a lot of warmth in her hair. You know, this was left over from a previous color. So what I'll do is after her highlights have processed 100% and they're really at the level I want, I will probably just lightly, I don't have to saturate every inch, go back with my 10-20 and say like clear equal parts, and I will quickly just pull it through the ends, leave it for 7 to 10 minutes. By toning between the foils, then when I remove my foils, I have 2 different blondes. I have this refined, beautiful blonde that's kind of a medium level without the brassiness, and now I will retone the highlights. That means that the mid shaft and ends gets a second dose of toner, but you know what, I'm okay with that because so many clients over time get that unwanted warmth. And when you do this toning between the foils, I kind of stress to clients that they do not need to do this every time. So this toning between the foils, I like to call it balancing. I'm balancing out your blonde. I'm doing an overlay on your blonde because it's not a major correction. You know, toning always means that we're correcting, we're fixing something. This balancing kind of has a different connotation to me. And like again, I'm coming across the head. So I'm still using that nose as my guide. and coming across the head. And then just how wide I make my density or these natural sections is really just depending on how tight you want it. What I like about this kind of placement is you can really vary it based on what the client wants. So like right here, I'm actually going to do another slice, and then probably just a very fine slice here because I do want to give her like a little more brightness just in the part. I had only done her hair one other time. So this is just the second time doing her hair, and I knew that I wanted to get her blonder over time, and I just, it would take a little while to get there. So even though I have some natural hair in between, I'm just going to break that up. Again, I always start a little further away from the scalp, and then feather my lightener up. Our lightener works just so beautifully, has a weak germ protein in it, really gives you nice lift. I have a little bit of the iPlex added to it because she has some previously colored ends. And then, like I said, for you guys who are existing Lakmé accounts who like these toning formulas, there's a comment section on our page today, and you can email Lexi at the comment section, and she will send you out the toning tip sheet. And then for you guys that are new to Lakmé, who maybe want to try a sampling, we have this great offer where you get, I think it's 12 tubes, is that what it is, Gina?
Yes, it's 12, and 2 developers.
12 tubes of color, 2 developers, the formula chart. It's just a great way to sample a product, and these toners are so conditioning and so fast acting and long lasting. I mean, that's what I really love. They have the jojoba oil in it, so they're great on all hair types and textures. So right here I went and chose to do like a ribbon. My next one I might do a slice. I don't ever worry about my work being like super symmetric. Like I don't say, oh, I put a slice on this side, I have to put a slice on the exact same side. I just try to think about it being balanced. So I worry more about it being balanced. I work with like what's in front of me according to the client's density, texture, previous color. So I'm excited, Gina. You're starting to rinse the first ones off?
These are looking really good. Yeah.
Good. Do we have any other questions, Lexi?
We don't have any questions right now.
Okay, so I'm going to do one more section kind of coming across this top, and then I'm going to turn Kayla. And again, I have a lot of very long-haired clients, and I find that this particular placement really does work so well with however they wear their hair. So I'm really coming like across the head, like that, and then I'm going to go ahead and just put in like a couple ribbon pieces. And I think it's really nice if you can get to where you feel confident, kind of doing like maybe like a narrow and a wider one. Sorry, I didn't mean to tug your hair. If you're not 100% happy with what you get, like maybe you want this to be, maybe I'll just do one actually because this feels a little bit awkward. I'm just going to go ahead and do one section, but what I'm going to do this time is rather than paint the whole section, I'll just paint part of the section. So I know underneath this I have that slice. And I don't even mind, like I kind of keep my angle going towards the front of the hair. Some people flip-flop this section back and forth, but this kind of go-to placement where you're starting out all the way up on a very wide piece and just kind of letting the color appear in the hair. Some people go every other way. I find that just a little too much work, and I feel like mostly I'm always thinking about the front of the face. As I move down the head, I'm just using a very light saturation. And again, I do have the iPlex. I'm not really worried about overlapping because our products are very gentle. And again, you can fold in half, but you have to keep in mind that you want that natural section at the top. So sometimes it's just easier not to think about it to go ahead and just lay another foil on top. Again, I'm just folding enough to kind of keep the foil in place. Now I did that skip slice underneath. The crowns, you always want to think about how that hair is going to fall, and I think it's nice to mix up some slices, which can be very forgiving, with some ribbons that are going to kind of peek through, and that's a good way to kind of just think about your placement. I definitely think that one of the things about Lakmé that really appeals to people is that, we use all eco-certified either natural ingredients or organic ingredients in our retail and our hair color. It's a part of something called Green Life, which is part of the European Parliament. So, you're using a very safe product that's naturally derived, that has so many conditioning benefits. So You know, Lakmé is a company that is founded by hairdressers for hairdressers, so it's really about the health and beauty of the hair. Are they done, Gina?
Yes, they are.
Yay!
Yay.
I can't wait
Yeah,
to
so
see
this is
it.
really exciting. So, love the way all of these swatches came out. So we can start with the white beach.
And isn't it nice to see it on the 2 different levels? Because how many times do you not reach your ideal shade? You know, it's nice to see it on the 2 different levels. Yeah, so start
Yeah,
with the
it
white
is.
beach. Like, what do you think, Gina?
I love the way that white beach is. This is so nice and soft for the summertime. And then I did leave some of the natural out on each of these swatches so you can get a comparison of it on the 2 different levels. Here we have our Champagne Beach, 1022 and 1020 with clear. Here's our Moonlight Beach, silver and clear. California Beach, this one's pretty, it's nice and soft. 960 and 1020. And I just rinsed these swatches so they're still drying.
I think what's interesting is even on the swatches, though, you can actually see the shine that the product imparted.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like if we have any of the uncolored swatches, sometimes you lay one of those next to it and you just see how shiny the hair is immediately. Or if you look at that uncolored portion, the jojoba oil in this particular product really does give you tremendous shine.
This one's Sundown Beach, 840 and 840 and 960. Here's Vanilla Beach. This one's really nice. Clear and 960. Sunny Beach. Here's some 1040, 933 and clear. And this one's really cool. Pink Sand Beach. Pearl Toner, 750 and clear.
And the 750 is that natural red that Gina was talking about, which is just a really pretty, kind of almost like a mahogany natural that's just great.
So for our existing Lakmé accounts, we're going to have a phone number and email address attached to the comment link below this video that you'd be able to access all of these formulas. Lexi can totally email you guys and send that over. For our people that are tuned in right now watching and are not Lakmé accounts, this is a great opportunity for you to sample our glosses and our most popular shades. And we're giving you some nice summertime formulas, so we're making it nice and easy for you guys. Everything's going to be included in this kit. You're going to get 12 of our glosses. That's what you see these boxes down here. Our pink developer is our purple developer is our 6 volume, and our orange developer is our 9 volume. So the 2 developers and the 12 tubes will all be included in our summertime kit here. And this is $80.80, and you could place an order, like I said earlier, either call in or email us.
Yeah, I do think it's just a fun way to sample a product because, you know, we all do so much blonding, and I feel like sometimes you just want to change it up. So this is a great opportunity to just like change it up with formulas that you know are going to work in that 7 to 10 minutes, and it's used for hair that is, you know, level 10 and above is like your good go-to. We did show it to you on kind of more like a 9-level swatch, 8-level swatch, so that you can, you know, see how it looks on darker and lighter levels. Of course, they'll get a little bit more pastel as they dry. We're going to have the finished toning swatches. I'm almost done with my placement on Kayla, and we're going to go ahead and bring her back in a little bit. So I'm just going to do another like skip slice on the top. I know these can look a little bit scary. Like you'll be like, oh my God, it's going to look so stripy. But what I want you guys to do is tune in later to see it. I mean, it's very hard to teach yourself to be random. You know what I mean? Like we spend so much time learning to do like the perfect foils, the perfect weaves. So teaching yourself to do like skinny, fat, all in the same foil is nice because it makes it look like you work twice as hard. You're like, how did she get all of that in one foil? And again, whatever you want to do, the main thing that makes this work is, number one, I do have a rather sheer weave, and I'm just feathering the product up as I get to the top of my foil. So where it's very skinny, I can go all the way up. Where it's still partly skinny, I can go most of the way up. And then on this one, you can see I'm leaving that little ribbon of natural going all the way down. And again, it's sheer. If it was on the underneath of the hair, I would have made it more dense, but this is on the top. I'm making it more opaque. I've got maybe like one more section to do, and we're gonna go ahead and let her process. It'll probably be maybe like 30 minutes from the last foil I put in. I am at the very end of my processing time. Once my highlights have really reached the level that I'm comfortable with, I'm gonna go ahead and do my like 2-time toning between the foils. And again, it's a great way to control unwanted warmth. It's good for clients who don't like low lights but could kind of use low lights. And it's taught in our 3D dimensional blonding class.
And where can people get more info on our 3D dimensional blonding class?
So we have a couple of classes scheduled here at Di Pasquale coming up in the next couple months, between now and the end of the year. So yeah, and it's also a class because we do all our own education in-house. We can sometimes offer more on demand. So if people are interested, I would do the same thing. I would look on our Di Pasquale website or our Lakmé USA website. Or you could reach out to the same info box where we have the toning sheets hosted. And if you are a Lakmé account, then your local educator, Gina, or someone else can come to your salon and actually teach this class for you. So you can see I'm getting to near my final section. I've got this small, if you just tilt your head forward, I've kind of got like a little bit of like a diamond or a triangle left in the top of the head. And I'm just gonna continue to close this up. In the very back, I might throw one in at a diagonal, but you can see these are kind of almost like crisscrossing in the back now. So I'll do the same type of placement in the back. So this was pretty quick. I mean, I spent about 20 minutes putting these pieces in the back. In the back, I have a much lighter density and larger pieces. And then in the top, I focused on that very tight shifted chevron to give her like a lot of blonde when she pulls it back. And we'll be back later today to show you Kayla's finished hair after she gets one of her toners. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to use on her today. I think I'm either going to do the champagne or the white beach. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm going to see. I like to decide my toning at the very end for my final toner. Between our foils, I am definitely going to use our 1020, which is our violet natural. It's my go-to color. But I will add a little bit of clear just because of her porosity. So I don't know, Gina, do you have anything to add about today, or you're good to go?
Gina, do you have a favorite toner out of all these formulas?
These that came out, I am loving the white beach, and I am loving the vanilla beach. I think this is such a nice soft color for like cooler clients, and then here we have again a soft color for warmer clients. And this is gonna be my favorite just because it's a little different than the rest. Our pink sand beach. But yeah, you can access all of this stuff on the comment section of this. We'll have our phone number, we'll have the email address. If you're a current Lakmé account, just shoot Lexi an email and she can send you over the formula sheet. And for our people that are interested in trying Lakmé, this is definitely an awesome kit to get interested in our favorite tones and our most popular tones for the summertime trends.
It's cool, and like one thing I want to mention for our existing accounts and new accounts is that existing Lakmé users, we have distributors all over the country, and we have regional educators that can come to your salon and teach you a lot of these techniques. And then for new accounts, we have the ability to ship all over the country, as well as put you in touch with the closest Lakmé distributor to where you live. So again, I'm doing my last section. You can see, you're just going to get very comfortable with this technique of, the wider your ribbon, the further down you can keep that natural bare section if you're worried about transition. But this is just like a great go-to placement for girls that have a lot of hair when you're kind of trying to get it really broken up quickly. So thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.